My name is Tiyana and I'm a pro makeup artist. This tutorial is all about highlighting and contouring, and I'm so excited to be able to tell you how you can create a flawless finish using the highlighting and contouring techniques at home using Black Opal products. Before I hop into showing you how to highlight and contour, I wanted to talk a little bit about why you should highlight and contour. There's a couple reasons why you might want to consider doing it. One, if you look at your face without makeup, you might notice that you have different complexions, you have different shades all over. So you might be light in one area, dark in another, and when you put on your foundation, you've made it all one color, just like I look. It looks kind of flat. So you might want to highlight and contour to bring back dimension to your face, so you don't look like you're all one color. You also might want to consider highlighting and contouring if you want to shave back certain features or bring certain features forward. Today I'm going to be highlighting and contouring for a combination of those purposes. I do want to bring light and dimension to certain areas of my face, but I also want to emphasize my cheekbones by contouring. For my all-over color, I'm going to use Black Opal's latest addition to the family. It's their Pore Perfecting Liquid Foundation, and my color is Beautiful Bronze. I'm starting off by just patting it with a foundation brush all over my face just to place the color. I like to use a stippling brush to stipple and smooth the foundation all over. I like this brush because it presses the color into your pores. And to me, it creates the most smooth, beautiful canvas. This foundation is especially good because it settles down to a beautiful matte finish that is HD and looks just like second skin. And I do like to take my foundation down to my neck just to blend it out, make sure there's no harsh edges. And also up to the hairline, blending, blending, blending. So for your highlight color, you do want to select a shade that's 1 to 2 shades lighter than your foundation color. For my highlight, I'm using Flawless Concealer in Toast. I'm starting with my under eye area by applying the Toast shade in almost a reverse triangular motion. I also want to bring light to the middle of my forehead, between my brows. Down the bridge of my nose. And this next one is totally optional, but also right on my chin area. Now, if you have a larger chin or even a larger forehead, you can skip highlighting because highlighting those areas will bring them forward and draw the eye to it. So think about the areas that you want to bring forward, and that's what you want to highlight. Now, I like to use a sponge, so I'm going to use my sponge to blend out those areas that I highlighted. This also presses the product into the skin, because you don't want to see it just sitting on top of your face. You do want to blend it in as much as you can. And don't be afraid to use your fingers, or if you have a particular brush that you like, go for it. Use the tools that you have or that you prefer. Now, if you really want to get fancy, which I do, I'm actually going to bring in another color just to add a little bit more light to my under eye area. I do have some shadows there that I like to pop forward, and I'm placing it right under those shadows. And remember, ladies, this is totally optional. You can already see what a big difference that's made before I even start to blend it out. Now I'm taking my original foundation brush and I'm going to go in and blend out a little bit more, blend the edges out. You shouldn't see where your foundation stops and the highlight starts. Everything should blend together seamlessly. And in terms of the pressure that you use with your brush, I'm barely touching the surface of my face with the bristles, just enough to blend out the product. And that's my highlight. Now for my contour, I'm using a shade that's 2 shades darker than my foundation color. I personally like to contour with creams, so I'm using Black Opal's Cream Stick Foundation in Carob. I mentioned earlier that I wanted to emphasize my cheekbones, so I'm going to take Carob right on my cheekbone. And you can find your cheekbone by placing the product right above your ear and bringing it in a diagonal motion down towards your eyebrow. I like to stop right at the end of my eyebrow. Same thing on the other side. I like to have a slimmer face, so I also contour right on my temples. Under my jawline. And I do just a little bit at the hairline. You can also contour the sides of your nose for a slimmer effect. And doing this not only adds dimension, but it also makes your nose look slimmer, thinner, and straighter. And for my contour, I like to take a clean buffing brush and buff it out. For added drama, you can drag it down towards your mouth just a little bit, and that'll make your face look slimmer and more pulled together. And the trick with highlighting and contouring is to take your time blending. One of the things that I see a lot of women do is kind of walk out without making sure that everything looks seamless. So don't be afraid to take a few extra moments to really get in there and blend, even if you have to use more than 1 or 2 tools. That's what I do. I like to use my brushes and then go back in with a sponge just to make sure that everything's nice and blended. And ladies, this is definitely a more subtle highlight and contour. If you wanted a contour or highlight that's more dramatic, you can use 3 shades lighter and 3 shades darker, or you can play around with the combination that gets you the contrast that you're looking for. This is definitely a little bit more subtle for an everyday look. I finished laying down my cream, highlight, and contour, so now I'm just gonna take a tissue and blot off the excess oils. If you're dry, these products are super hydrating to the skin, so you can totally skip this step. Now taking Black Opal's Deluxe Finishing Powder in medium, I'm gonna set my entire face using this powder. This powder is a kit staple for me. It mattifies my complexion and sets all of my foundation all day. I can't leave my house without it. So there you have it, a beautiful, flawless complexion that's highlighted and contoured using all Black Opal products.